Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. I'm going to say something to you right now, and I don't want you to check the audio on your tablets or devices. I don't want you to try to clear the wax in your ears. After those disclaimers, I'm going to tell you that India has won the match by 150 runs. Yes, by 150 runs. It's a T20 international, by 150 runs. I think I've said it so many times to get over the shock myself. I can't believe it, but it is what it is. India batting first after being invited by Joss Butler at the Wankhede Stadium. Got to a 247, a mammoth 247 for 9 on the back of a century by Abhishek Sharma. The second fastest century by an Indian. He got it of 37 balls, went on to 135, which is the highest score by an Indian in a T20 international. He was supported by Shivam Dube, good cameo, 30 of 13. Tilak Varma stood with him for a while as well, but it was Abhishek Sharma who did the bulk of the scoring. And England, well, they have been wrapped up for 97. That's right, for 97. I wasn't actually ready for the show here, Michael, because I thought that India would enforce the follow-on and England would bat again, but apparently that's not happening.
I thought India might have been kind and allowed Joss Butler to use the 4 impact batters just to carry on the game. I don't think there's ever been a show that someone's power play prediction, the team don't even end up getting to that prediction. I said 104 in the power play and get bowled out for 97. You just got to write that off as a bad night at the office for the England team. But India were excellent. The juggernaut of the batting unit, fantastic with the ball in hand. A little bit of salt into the wounds with Shivam Dube picking up a couple as well. The first ball getting full salt. If there was ever a night where everything could go wrong for England, it just has.
But I just want to add one more thing, including the toss, which actually didn't go wrong for England. It fell in their favour. But again, you've got to say called wrong. It's what every captain has been doing after winning the toss, but perhaps not at Wankhede, you don't do that.
Well, no, I mean, it's such a good surface at the Wankhede, and you get the license really with the first innings with a pure pitch to go and get a massive score and then use your skill sets to defend it. Again, I go back to the 50-over World Cup against South Africa where England won the toss and decided to field on that boiling hot day, and South Africa got 400. Well, a similar scenario has happened tonight in T20 cricket. I mean, to lose by over 150, I don't know what the test equivalent loss would be.
800.
An innings and 400, something like that. I mean, they've just been absolutely hammered. And all I'll say about the England white ball team, it's been exceptional for a period of time. And from 15 to 2019, win the World Cup, brilliant. And then they win a T20 World Cup in Australia, beat Pakistan in the final. The last 2 and a bit years of white ball cricket for England, they are massively underperforming. With the team and the skills that they have in that squad and the experience, there's a lot of experience in that team now. You go back to the 50-over World Cup in India, massively underperformed. The T20 World Cup in the Caribbean, they got to the semi-finals, but they were nowhere near what we'd seen previously. And here again, they lose 4-1 by a better team. You know, just a better skilled team with a lot more power, a lot more skill sets. England haven't found a way of playing the leg spinners. And there's big question marks about this white ball team of how they're going to get better and how they're going to get back to that edge that they had around 2018, 19, 20. They had a real edge about them. But I think that edge has gone. They've got to work a way of playing smarter cricket for longer periods, and they can't just play one style, which has been found out in this series.
Yeah, Zach, I think great point that Michael makes there is that it's underperforming, this team, which means that it's got gun players, it's got a lot of talent, it's got experience. But I think repeatedly in this series, and it's been a little frustrating to watch as well, is that some of the strategic calls, whether it's the lengths you're bowling, whether it's the players you're picking, whether it's the choices you're making, like today of letting India bat first on this wicket, it's those strategic calls that seem to be going against them, one after the other.
I think you got to look at it in 2 ways. So the macro planning, if you call it, which is having that kind of approach, which is aggressive, ultra aggressive, looking to be dominating in this format, through and through with the bat. Even if you're losing wickets, you look to be taking the game to the opposition and look to be hitting those big shots. Is something at a macro level what they're deciding. But at the micro level, you still got to analyze it further and maybe go series by series and keep bettering that. Like, if you can have the similar intent, but maybe absorb pressure in certain situations, maybe build partnerships, that is something which was missing right throughout the series. Today's game, we can't count that because the target which they're chasing was such a huge one that you expect everyone to be in this mode. But generally in the series we've seen they've been missing out on moments which were getting them 20-25 runs short, and that could have been the winning total on that day. So those are the finer things which they'll have to start thinking about. There is nothing wrong in getting back to the drawing board, having the by and large tactics in place, but still looking to take the learnings from series to series or match to match, and looking to better that in the coming games. That's typically should be the way forward, which will get them back to finding that balance, which the team is looking for to be able to give results consistently.
Michael, there's something that I was noticing when they were batting today, even in the power play. Somebody like Jos Buttler. Now, I understand you're, chasing 250 almost, and you have to hit every ball for 6. But somehow it just seemed like they were just trying too hard. They were swinging too hard. There was too early was Jos Buttler just opening his leg and trying to whack it out. He's better than that. If he just bats like he usually bats, he'd get 15, 16 and over easy in the power play. So did you feel that there was that thing of just a little too much desperation too early?
Yeah, but I can understand that when you're chasing such a massive number. The batters have batted badly, but you look at the number that India got, and that was down to, I think, the formation that England have picked throughout the whole of this series. I said at the start, I just can't see how pace on is going to win a series in India, and they've ended up losing 4-1, and the Indian players are just deflecting the ball to all parts. Abhishek Sharma's getting balls at 150 kilometres an hour. He's just getting his bat. He's flying everywhere into the stands, and that's not how you win one-day series or T20 series in India. You've got to be skillful. You've got to take pace off. Every now and again, obviously, you bowl fast, full ones. I didn't see enough, with the bowling department. If you're going to bowl pace on, you've got to be hitting the stumps at times. A lot of England's bowling throughout this series has been pace on, and it's been hip high to chest high. Now, the wickets aren't quick enough, and they don't bounce steep enough to really threaten. Yes, they've had Sanju, Samson out, and they'll say they've had wickets with the short ball. But ultimately, the ball's been flying to all parts, and it's very difficult to control it as a captain and set fields when you're not quite sure where the ball's going to fly to. So the batters were poor tonight because they're chasing the big number. You're right to suggest that Jos Buttler lost his shape, but I just think the game was lost in that first half of the game when England just didn't bowl well enough on a flat wicket. And you could argue that the toss, allowing India to bat first on that pure wicket, and particularly players that are in decent touch. And if you look at the whole series, I think England at the start of the series, they'd have said, if we can keep Sanju Samson quiet and Suryakumar Yadav, we'll have a good chance of winning this series. Yeah. Well, they did that, and they've been hammered because India have got a powerhouse of young, dynamic left-handers that can strike the ball to all parts. So all facets of it. I think the fielding's been pretty good. I think at times the tactics have been pretty good. They've tried to vary it at times, but ultimately, when the pressure's been on and you've really kind of looked at the two skill sets of the team, I think England have picked a skill set not required in India. Probably South Africa, Australia, England. I think they needed more skillful seamers and more in terms of spin to win in this kind of series.
Such a good point about pace on is not going to win you, because Hardik Pandya bowled the second over in India's power play after Shami had gone for a few in the first. And he bowled 4 deliveries that were pace off, and they were dot balls, which, are gold at that stage.
Well, both the teams, you can argue that, isn't it? The balance of playing 11, how they're looking at it, what kind of approach they have, what kind of thinking they have around it. England, for sure, could have brought in 2 spinners, somehow given them that chance. Maybe a game or two. That's the kind of scenario situation we are talking about. In this format, we often talk about small margins, and then these kind of calls will go a long way. It will make a huge impact, and that's what happened. Similarly with the Indian team, if you look at the first 4 games, maybe the first and the fifth game was complete one-sided affair, but those 3 games in the middle, there were situations where they could have lost the game because of these fine little tactical calls, and that is something which they also have to learn. If they have to have the impact in the big tournaments, then these calls go a long way. For England, I think there is more work cut out since you can see those errors are creeping in and very evident and obvious ones. So you can avoid those for sure.
If you look at the England batters, there was Phil Salt, of course, who was getting some runs. He was looking quite dangerous actually when he was batting, but then after that it just kind of fell away. You see, there's nobody got any runs. They just kept going one after the other. There was just a march past happening, and then they were done pretty quickly. But all of this happened. You see, 55 for Phil Salt. No, it's 97 runs, and he's got 55 out of that. But then after that, you look at Jacob Bethel being the second highest score at 10. So I think everybody after that has just kind of gone one by one. But yeah, Phil Salt was looking in good form. Just nobody to help him. Nobody to shoulder the load. No partnership there. But again, as Michael says, as Zaheer says, all of this has happened because of one guy and what he did to the England bowlers in the first half of the game. And he is our Kia Seros performer of the day. Kia, movement that inspires. We're talking about Abhishek Sharma. Look at just look at those numbers. There's 7 4s, there's 13 6s. He hit 50 in 17 balls. His 100 came of 37 balls. He was just, I mean, you can just keep counting the number of records today. We could go on, for an hour about just how good he was today.
Yeah, you talk about the style, you talk about the contribution, like this is right up there. One of the best T20 innings you can count as. And second fastest to 50, second fastest to 100 by an Indian. So that's some achievement on his part. Look, the intent and approach which Abhishek Sharma has shown in his career at this level is commendable. And to be able to convert those kind of starts on his day, if he's able to do this kind of damage consistently, then globally, all the bowlers beware. This guy is here to stay by the looks of it. He's growing and becoming better and better as he's playing more games. The confidence is going to go high, and for sure can contribute with the ball as well. So that dimension also will always be helping him prolonging his career and impact in this format.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, this is the modern T20 batter. I mean, they are bold in their approach, but this guy's just so stylish. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's trying to hit it outside the stadium, but just keeps hitting the sixes still.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just a modern day kind of flourishing player. He's got so much style. He's got the power. He's got the skill sets. He's got the ability to hit spin. He's got the ability to hit seam. I think his awareness of the game is excellent. I think he reads the play beautifully. I think he realises that, you look at a few of his shots today against Jofra Archer. He plays the cut shot for 6, and then he realised Jofra's going to pitch it up a little bit more, so he dances down out of his crease and whacks him over extra cover. So I think that's a real all-round player that can obviously play the strokes, but also read what the bowler's going to try and bowl to him and be one step ahead of that delivery. A wonderful player. I don't think you can play any better than that. I really don't. I mean, if anyone's played a better T20 innings than that, I've not seen it. That was as pure and as stylish as you could possibly have ever hoped for.
Yeah, you think he was on top gear and top speed, but I think there's a little bit of afterburner there that's still there that perhaps could take him ahead. And there was a really nice tweet from Yuvraj Singh as well, who of course is his mentor, spent a lot of time with him, and has been, you could tell that whenever Abhishek gets out, Yuvi's upset because he thinks that, that 20 can be 60 and that 40 can be 100. I think today he has no complaints, and I don't think he's going to complain for a while now.
Today is the day when he's going to pick up the phone and say that, look, I can still bat the way I want to bat, look to hit every ball out of the park and still be able to reach three-figure marks.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a good banter between them because knowing UV, he's always going to push him and he'll always try to needle him in the most positive way to get the best out of him.
Fantastic. Abhishek as stylish as the Kia Ceros. He's a Kia Ceros performer of the day. Kia movement that inspires. Abhishek Sharma with 135 of 54 balls. Oh, fantastic he was. It's been a fantastic series. I just want to tell you that there was just one prediction here of 4-1. Does anyone remember who it was, Michael? Anyone remember?
Don't I will say that Zaheer's got the bullseye with the power play.
Oh yeah, today
so
with the power
that's,
play, yes.
I've got the series prediction right, and we still have to. Okay, we'll do the power play score first, and then can we come back to the series prediction?
Well done, JK. It was amazing prediction.
Now I got to tell you, you not just around 68. It was exactly 68, just as you guessed for the power play. But can I tell you, Michael, that when it was about 2 hours to go, I turned to Zach and I said, you know what? I feel it's your day. You're going to get .68. Did I tell you that or not? Yeah.
Are you trying to take the credit for my
Yes.
prediction now?
Will you give it?
No.
Something?
You got the series prediction right behind.
Anything? Such misers, I tell you. Such misers. But he got 68. So, yeah. Big round of applause. But I tell you, this 4-1 has actually happened. If we were to give it to one guy, I'm sure he's going to get man of the series, right? We're talking about Chucky. Chucky, the doll, the scary doll, Chucky. Yeah. Varun Chakravarthy is Chucky the doll for England because that's what he's done. He's got 14 wickets. Michael, these are the most wickets in a bilateral T20I series for India. There you go. It's 14 in a 5-match series. He's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't he?
Yeah, and that's gone a long way to why India have dominated the series. England have not found a method or a way to play both leg spinners, but Varun Chakravarthy has been outstanding. He's just got the ball on a string. He's got that ability to just spin it just enough either way, but mainly back into the right-handers. And you look at someone like Harry Brook, who's a world-class performer. He's just not found a method. He got a 50 in the last game, but throughout the 5 matches, he's just looked all at sea against the leg spinners. And that's for England to go on and win the next T20 World Cup. They've got to find a better method of playing the leg spinners in the middle, because most teams generally have a couple of leg spinners or a couple of mystery spinners, and it's so important that you find a method of scoring against them. And it's not all about just whacking it into the stands. And I just get a sense with England that they're focusing so much on whacking it into the stands that they're forgetting actually the ones and twos, the low risk kind of manoeuvring the ball into the gaps, just making sure that you get a player to a decent number. And that's when you end up with a good score and a par score, and then you can defend it. I just get a sense that England are just a little bit like they're just playing 7th gear. They've got to get down in the gears at stages. And against quality in terms of those 2 leg spinners, you can't possibly hit them into the stands all the time. They're too good. So you have to knock it into the gaps and try and play the longer game. And that's going to be the real learning from this series for England. Can they come out of this series and accept that they've got a bit of an issue of facing leg spin, and can they get better by the time the next T20 World Cup's in India and Sri Lanka?
I mean, talking about getting better from World Cup to World Cup, well, there was Varun who played a World Cup right after a good IPL, and then was just out. He was out of the series. He was out of the scheme of things for India. Dodgy knee, injury issue, question mark on his fielding. This Varun 2.0, I mean, we're going to talk about his bowling, and we've spoken a lot about his bowling. But I'll tell you what else I'm liking. There was this tag of, I don't know if he's a gun fielder. Check out his catches.
Yeah.
In this series, he's been solid in the field as well. So this 2.0 is not just bowling. It feels like just him as an athlete has also just gone a level up.
And also the communication around that, isn't it? So selectors, the coaching staff, everyone has to play a role in terms of letting the player also know what exactly they're expecting out of him. And Varun, this comeback story has been a real good one. He's getting better and better. He's been very accurate attacking those stumps. There's a slight bit of drift also, so the variations also coming into play nicely when he's bowling the ball, which is going away from the right-hander as well. So everything is just falling into place. Wickets are backing the confidence. That's also very important. It's just about now keeping on this track and continuing to do what has been working for him, because almost 3 wickets per game in this format.
Yeah.
In those middle, it doesn't matter. He's all phase bowler. You just give him the ball in the power play. You've seen that in the series. He's responded well, and in the middle phase, he's always going to be a big threat. So I think all in all, it's a very good area covered from the Indian bowling point of view.
Yeah.
Because the middle phase of the game, if you have someone who is able to take wickets, that really sets the game up for the next phase. And Varun has been brilliant with that.
Yeah, Michael, the modern day game has become such that if you can't excel in all 3 disciplines, you've got to be brilliant in 2, right? I mean, those age-old days of 3-4 decades ago where you could just be one disciplined player, I think, are gone. And I guess when that puts pressure on you, you got to up your fielding as well. And today with his catching, I mean, two of those catches that he took were really good, actually. One was diving forward, one running on the boundary. There's some solid stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, he's in for a while now. I think he's obviously a wonderful bowler, but he looks good in the field. I think India's fielding throughout has been excellent. I think they've been a real kind of athletic unit, taken pretty much most chances. They've created a lot of chances, so it's always nice when you're creating them, you feel in the game. But they're a tremendous side. I'm kind of looking at players outside of this group that would come back in. Maybe Kuldeep Yadav might come in. He's a wonderful left arm, different kind of bowler. Yashasvi Jaiswal, will he come back in? I mean, there's so many players that you can mention that might come back into this T20 unit. But I like what India have done. I really like that they're kind of separating the T20 team away from the 50s and also the Test match team. I just think you need to freshen up. There's that much cricket that gets played these days. If you've got the same group of coaches, staff throughout all the formats and the same group of players, I just think they get burnt out. So I've really enjoyed what India have done with their T20 team. And if I was them, I would keep going down this route, try and keep as many of the Test players out of the team and making sure that when the T20s come around, you've got a really fresh mental side that can go out there and flourish, which is what this team is doing.
Yeah, because there is a T20 World Cup where India will be defending their title. That's going to be next year. To round things up for this game, let's have a quick look at what the bowlers did today, because obviously they got England out in a real hurry and the wickets were divided amongst everyone. Come on, bring it. Let's go. Let's show it. Bowlers today? No? No one wants to show it? Oh, there it is. Thank you. 3 wickets to Shami. There was 2 to Chakravarthy. So a regular kind of day for him. Shivam Dubey picked up 2. That's what I liked. I quite enjoyed that. And Abhishek Sharma, he's having a golden day today, right? The first wicket fell. It was him who caught that catch. Ben Duckett, he took that. Then he picked up 2 wickets as well, hit 135. So he was golden today. But just a quick word on Shami. Zach, what you saw from him today?
It looked good. I think he should have played more games in the series. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
You're looking at the ODI series and the Champions Trophy later. So coming off injury, he needs that confidence, some game time. And today he was brilliant, taking those 3 wickets as well. It was a high-scoring game. But all in all, it was just a brilliant day for bowlers. I mean, this kind of days you don't often see in this format. To be able to take a team out, all out in 10 overs, it's possibly the best day.
Yeah, it was a really good day for India. 4-1. The series won, the T20I series won 4-1. We still, Zach, you know that we discussed this a lot on Cricbuzz Live, that we don't just go by results, you go by, thought and process.
Yep.
And is there anything here from this that you would still feel that India could have done better?
I think they got to be brave enough to try different combinations, and especially with bowling. With batting, maybe a little bit of fine tuning. Captain Suryakumar Yadav needs to be among the runs. That's something which we've seen in the series. All in all, if you see, if you ask me how the Indian team has played through and through, there was some doubts In spite of not being playing the best cricket right throughout the series, they've managed to pull this kind of a result.
Yeah.
And that's the strength we are talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there will be some learnings in terms of run chases. You've seen the Chennai game also was a tricky run chase. Rajkot was another example. So those small little things needs to be discussed, fine-tuned going forward. But with the ball, they've been just brilliant through and through.
Yeah, Michael, for you in this series, if India was to they will definitely look back and evaluate the things that you feel they could have done a little better.
Oh, I think they've won the series 4-1 without being at their best. I think they've saved their best till last. They were brilliant tonight, but in the first 4 games, I think they gave England a chance because they were a little bit clumsy with the bat. When you're looking at the whole series, Suryakumar, Yadav, having the top bracket of players, he's done nothing really. And then you look at Sanju, Samson, who's been found out a little bit with the short ball. He was out to the short ball once again tonight. So there's 1 or 2 areas of concern in terms of the batting. But, I agree with that. The combination of the bowling you can change around. But fundamentally, I think the skill sets that this T20 Indian side has is magnificent. They've got everything covered. They're a very athletic team in the field. They've got so many different kind of angle changes with the ball in hand. I think if you bring in Kuldeep Yadav, I think a left arm leg spinner would be a really good addition to the side. But, you've got so many players to choose from over there that it is like picking out of a hat who you really want to play. And, I just think in the 2 left-handers in Abhishek Sharma and Tilak Varma, you've got 2 incredible young players. Real quality that is going to be around for a while, and they're going to damage and destroy many bowling attacks on all different surfaces around the world. So the Indian the tank of talent, it only gets bigger and it grows all the time. And it's a big series win for Gautam Gambhir. He needed it. After losing in Australia, losing the Test series to New Zealand at home, I think it was a big win for the coach. He'll know that they haven't played quite as well as they could, but to win 4-1 against an England side that England are now just a dangerous team. We have to just say they just play dangerous white ball cricket and they can get anybody on their day. But for a couple of years now, they're not lifting the trophies. And they didn't get close to winning the T20. They didn't get close to winning the 50 over. I think the Champions Trophy in a few weeks' time now is a big trophy for the England team.
And the Champions Trophy leads us to the prep for the Champions Trophy, which is going to be happening next. The T20I series is gone. It's a 3-match ODI series that's going to be played with the first game in Nagpur on the 6th, India playing England. And for India, the fans will be happy because they see some of their favourites come back. They see the 2 big names in Indian cricket, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, are both going to be there. Remember, they have both retired from the T20 format, as has Ravindra Jadeja after the World Cup wins. So they'll be back. So this again is, you see that the T20 squad, Zach, and the ODI squad, there's not much of an overlap here, right? I mean, when you look at the batters, yes, in the all-rounders, there's a little bit of an overlap. In the bowlers, perhaps just a bit, but it's great to see that's almost different.
Well, largely you'll see the continuity from the 23 World Cup.
Yeah.
So the team and the players who have contributed in those matches and the template which was set by the team was fantastic. So I think there's a conscious effort being made around that to have that continuity, and that's what you can expect from this format.
Yeah.
So they want to maybe just look to emulate what they've been doing in that World Cup, which was such a fantastic World Cup for them. Pretty much winning through and through, not dropping a single game in that league phase. So except for the finals, they've been brilliant. So you will see a similar kind of approach, similar kind of methods. Touching points, ticking those boxes. So all those kind of things will come back with this series now against England and lead up into the Champions Trophy.
An important 3-game series, Michael, also for the 2 big guns, the experienced boys, Rohit and Virat, because they've had a bit of a dry spell in the last few months. So they'll be eager to get some runs below their belt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really good for the culture of a team when you've got, players that aren't in that squad that could easily be in that squad. So the likes of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, they'll know that they're going to have to produce some numbers. They know that they've got all these young players that are breathing down their neck to get into that side. So I think that's a really healthy environment that Gautam Gambhir has got. India are a brilliant side. You know, they played so well in the 50 over World Cup. They just had that blip in the final. But, you know, I see nothing at this stage other than a 3-0 India win. With the way that India are playing, the way that England are playing the spinners, the one key for England will be Joe Root. Joe Root back into that side. You saw him on the bench today, just getting himself back in with the troops. Joe Root's playing well. He's been in great form in South Africa. And I think England, there's a real good debate. Do England need, even in T20 cricket, a Joe Root style player that can be very consistent, just manoeuvre the ball into the gaps, and he can be the glue, and everyone else can be the firecrackers around him. So he's going to be a big player, particularly against the spinners. And clearly it's going to be spin. There'll be lots of spin bowled at England. Why wouldn't you? So it's going to be how England play the spinners in the 3 games. And that's going to go into Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. All these teams around the world, they'll be watching the likes of Harry Brook play spin. They'll be watching the way that Liam Livingstone plays spin and go, okay, when you play us in a 50 over format, we're going to throw lots of spinners at this England side. So that is what England have got to get better at. But they have got the best player spin that I've seen with Graham Gooch in an England jersey, and that's Joe Root back in the team. So that should help them.
We look at that India squad again. I mean, forget the batters because, we have Hardik at 6 and one of either Jadeja or Akshar at 7. That's what India likes to go with, right? Now, Zach, who's your other 4 bowlers then? Who are the other 4 bowlers you're going with in Nagpur?
Well, Harshit is going to be there for sure. You'll have Shami and Arshdeep is something which will make up the fast bowling. And then you'll have Kuldeep and maybe Akshar and Ravindra Jadeja between them.
Yeah. So you're saying Kuldeep, you're saying Bumrah, Harshit, Shami?
Bumrah / Harshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was counting 12.
Because the first 2 games, I think Harshit is available.
Yeah.
And then the last one, depending on Bumrah, if he's fit or how he wants to lead up to Champions Trophy, those kind of nitty-gritties will come into play. But generally, they will look to go in with 5 bowlers is what my sense is.
Yeah.
And Hardik be the supporting 6th bowler.
Excellent. Look at the England squad now. Of course, the England squad has a fair bit of overlap, but the big name, Jos Buttler, of course, Joe Root coming into this squad. So that's a good addition. Jos Buttler still, of course, captaining. And you see not a lot of overlap. I think it's entirely the same team, isn't it? It's the...
Joe Root getting added. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, Rayan Ahmed's not in there. So, Adil Rashid obviously is going to be a mainstay. But I just don't think they've got enough spin. Real quality spin. I think they'll go with this rocket approach of trying to blow India away, and I just don't see. Well, I've never seen it work in India, trying to blow an Indian batting lineup on these flat, slow wickets. I think you need more than just rockets. So, in time, I'd like to see England with a little bit more quality spin in their 50 over and T20 team, particularly when you're playing in the subcontinent.
Well, you'll end up getting overs from Liam Livingstone and Joe Root is what the guess is. But what's your top 6 batters looking like here, Michael?
It won't be too dissimilar. I mean, Joe Root obviously comes in at number 3. He'll be the rock. And it won't be too dissimilar you've got Ben Duckett obviously going first.
We've lost him. Till we just re-establish that connection. Zach, I'll get you in on how do you see the top 6 for England out of that squad?
Well, I think Joe Root is going to be very critical. Looking at how this series has gone in this format, T20, going in ODIs, he's going to play a huge role. Whether Butler, what position he bats, we have to wait and see. Again, Ben Duckett again is someone who they will be hoping that he plays that middle phase of the innings with having that ability to put spin under pressure. So that is going to be the predominant thought process when you're looking at this England batting lineup. We have to see Bethel how he goes on adapting to these conditions, because ODI format, it'll give them a little breather in terms of sussing the conditions, maybe having different plans. 50 overs, you can actually look to build your innings. So you can't just go hammer and tongs from ball 1. Maybe the first power play they will look to be aggressive, But in the middle phase, they'll look to adapt and build the innings up. So that's going to be an interesting one.
And in Nagpur, are you getting a run fest in Nagpur? Are you getting a little bit of assistance to the spinners in Nagpur? What kind of a surface can people expect? What do you usually
You
get?
can expect a little bit of help around the spin for sure.
Yeah.
Looking at this series, how it's gone, maybe in the ODIs, that is going to become even more important. So you will see that kind of those kind of pitches. I think the spin will be a factor, and that is going to be the challenge for this English team also. The challenge will continue in the ODI format as well.
Yeah, they've had trouble. Safe to say that they've had a little bit of trouble against spin in this series. All right, I will do one thing because I'm quite keen to do it, which is the joy factor question. I was very keen to have a look at what that was. So if you can just quickly look at that. It was a tough one today. But I did give you a clue that it had something to do with what had happened in first-class cricket in the last few days. And it really was. Who recently broke a first-class record previously held by Marco Mare since 2017. And it was a quick 300. That's what it was, a quick 300. Can you imagine these words in one sentence? Quick 300. Can we show the exact answer? I think so. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. No? Nobody knows? I don't even think Joy sent the answer in. Nobody knows what the answer is. Oh, there it is. Fastest triple. I was correct. Fastest triple century scored in 47 balls versus Arunachal. Tanmay Agarwal. Just in case you thought Abhishek's 100 of 37 balls, Zach, was tough.
That was off 47 balls.
300 in 47 balls.
Okay. How is it possible?
Michael, I think I've unclogged your internet with that factoid.
Yeah, that by the way, that's not possible.
How is it possible in 47 deliveries?
No balls. That's what I'll say.
Okay, we have to get technical now. We'll have to see. I'll have to see the rule as well. The law.
Yeah? All right,
Law
guys. I
around
just
that.
want to tell you, shock value. I just did that for shock value. We'll put the correct one without the typo. It was 147 balls. But I tell you something.
Okay, good.
It was worth the look on your faces. Like, what? 347? Doing the math. You're going, wait, 15 to 6 is 300.
Exactly.
Like less than that. How are they doing? But how did you like my no balls?
No, it was not working.
Was that-
Because that ball is counted still.
Yeah. Free hit. Keep going.
Counted in batter's account.
What if you hit a no ball for 6 and then you hit the free hit for 6 as well? That's 12 of one ball, isn't it?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean, yeah, it's not possible, right?
But it goes on as 12 as one ball, not 12 in two balls.
No, Michael will be aware of this. I
But
think
is
it
this
goes in
first
as
class
two
cricket?
deliveries, right?
Because you don't get free hits in first class cricket.
That's true. You don't. I love it. I love it. I like the fact that both of them are wide awake. Well, actually, it's not too late for Michael, but it is a Sunday. So I like the fact that they're working fully alert on a Sunday. But anyway, put everyone out of their miseries. 300 over 147 balls, not 47. So don't get your minds in a spin. There was one person who got the correct answer. The first one in was the stats kid. Had to be the stats kid who got it correct. So congratulations to you. Michael, I'll just come back to what I was asking before you dropped out, which is, what do you see this batting order being for England in the first ODI?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ducky at the top. He's been exceptional for England. I'd be interested to see who goes in with him, but Joe Root's going to be the key. Will they play Butler and Salt? We'll have to wait and see. Will Butler bat 4 or 5, or will they put him at number 6? He's been used at like 5 and 6 in the last couple of years. Jamie Smith's obviously there as well. Where they're going to play him, I'll be very interested to see who goes in first with Ben Duckett.
Who would you like?
I mean, Harry Brook obviously against the spin in the middle. He's obviously got a little bit of an issue against the spinning ball. There's a little bit in me that wouldn't mind either Harry Brook opening the batting with Ben Duckett or Josh Butler. Just put Josh Butler at the top of the order, give him as much chance as possible to go and get the big scores, and England will be energized and they'll have power in that middle of the innings. But I think Josh Butler just needs to face even though it's 50 overs, face as many balls as he possibly can. I think he's got the ability to get big hundreds, so I'll be pushing him up to the top.
Yeah, but he hasn't opened in ODI cricket in a while, right?
No, he hasn't.
he has not.
He hasn't,
He has
but I
not,
just think he's such a good player. The problem with Joss is he can bat in like 7 positions because he's so good. I just think you've got to maximise how good he is, and it could be that he goes to. I don't think they will. I think they'll probably just go with maybe Phil Salt will play and open the batting with Ben Duckett and be really aggressive at the top. That's pretty much the way that they play. But the key will be Joe Root. Joe Root in the way that he plays spin. If he has a good series and he manoeuvres the ball and plays, with the smartness that we know that he can, England can be very, very competitive. And I just hope the other players take a little bit of a leaf out of the way that Joe Root plays spin, which is not just about trying to whack it into the stands. Manoeuvring the ball into.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why he's one of the best in the world, right? I mean, Zach, that's what makes these top players so difficult to bowl to, because they're always outthinking you, and they always have 3 or 4 different options, not just one.
See, but what will be interesting to see is what is team's plan. Joe Root is someone who is going to stick to the team's plan.
Yeah.
So if the team's plan is going to be what we've seen so far in the T20 format, and they want to continue playing white ball cricket in that fashion, and as a team, if they decide that, okay, we want to be dominating in this format as well, then I think Joe Root will also be trying to be filling that role.
I agree with you, because we've seen him do that in Test cricket, right? That little ramp over third man to the fast bowler.
So I'm curious around that. How, what the talk is happening in the press,
No.
and how it's translating onto the field.
No, England, don't do it. Just slow down. That's all we want. Just slow down a little bit. 1 gear down, perhaps, and it could be. Your score prediction, Michael already told us his prediction for the series is 3-0. India, what is your prediction?
I think 2-1.
Yeah?
Yep. In India's favour.
In India's favour. Interesting that you said that. Well, I'm not going to be here, so it doesn't matter whether I predict it or not, as you are aware.
You've not given the retirement speech?
Yeah, I have. No, I want to do, I don't like a fuss.
Okay.
I don't like a fuss.
That means you're still debating in your head.
You
want to see how the Champions Trophy is going and then maybe decide.
Maybe I'll take back my retirement from the one-day format, but they will have to make the one-day format shorter for me to return. If they could just make it shorter by...
England might do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they make it shorter by 30 overs per innings...
Well, tonight they made the T20 format shorter.
That's true.
So they might do it in ODIs.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that. Maybe I shouldn't have retired from one-day cricket before the series. Maybe I should have stuck around, because with England, you know that the games are going to get over quickly one way or the other, right? Either they're going to get to the score, or like today, they're going to fall 150 runs short. But you're never going to die wondering when it comes to the England team. Well, Michael, I have just announced my retirement from one-day cricket, but Zach is urging me to take it back.
I think you should come back. I think the longer game, the 50-over game, needs your wisdom.
It does. Or it just needs more food orders during the day. That's why you guys want me here.
That too.
It just requires.
Who's going to order my wasabi prawns?
I'll do them from home. Don't worry about it. I got it covered. I got people everywhere. It's all covered. Don't worry. You just get here with your paddle racket and we'll sort the rest out. All right. I haven't retired from paddle yet.
I'm bringing 2 rackets.
Amazing. That's great. My game has become so good that you might need both. All right. A big thank you to Michael Vaughan for joining us from the UK. Thanks, Michael. Thank you for being here with us in this series. Big thank you to Zaheer Khan. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Cricbuzz Live in this T20I series. We will be here with you. Cricbuzz Live. I have the very young and capable Saimik here. I'm going to be in her good hands for that ODI series. So enjoy that as well. I'm got a bit of a concussion, so I'm going to lie down for the ODIs. Yeah, take some nice long naps. But it's been fun being here for the T20I series. Thank you so much for being here with us. On behalf of our entire crew, it's goodbye and good night.